Welcome, all my fellow Washington brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Washington football team fan, Luke. Thank you for joining me here on the Washington Football Report Live, a special edition. 53-man roster has been finalized. I think this is the initial 53-man roster. I do not think it is the final 53-man roster. And I told you guys that with my projected 53-man roster that I did not think it was going to ultimately end up the way that I had it. I said, they're going to make some alterations to this. And just like I said it with my projection, which was off by about 7 or 8 guys, which is what I told you I thought it would be, this final list that we've seen, this initial final list, I do not think this is it. You can't go into the season with 4 linebackers. They're not going to go into the season with 4 linebackers. So I'm going to give you a little insight as to what I think is going to take place. But before we do that, we need to look at the roster first. We need to kind of wrap our brains around what was done here. I see the super chats lighting up, so we're going to get to those. But let's go through the roster quickly so that you have a working knowledge of what was done, who was cut, and who is still on the roster as of right now. Again, this is still subject to change. This situation is fluid, but what it does is it gives the team flexibility now. Now they can put a guy, they can take a guy, put him on IR, and do things like that. So again, they're going to do some moving around and some shuffling. This thing is not done by a long shot. However, let's take a look at this roster real quick and break it down. So let's take a look at the offensive side of the football. No surprises here at the quarterback position. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen are your 3 quarterbacks. Your 3 running backs. I had 4. And I told you the first guy they would come to cut if they needed an additional spot, and I'm going to tell you where I think it ultimately happened, was going to be running back. And I told you Peyton Barber would be the guy that would be sacrificed. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Jared Patterson. I knew he was going to make the football team. You knew he was going to make the football team. I thought Peyton Barber was going to be here as well. But I said if they need that spot, he'll be the first guy they go to get it, and they did. They needed that spot for a number of different reasons. I'll show you a little bit later on. Here's the receivers. I told you I thought it would be 7. There were 7. I didn't have the right 7, however. We got 6 out of the 7 correct. Dax Milne replaced AGG, and I told you what Ron Rivera said, and he did not lie to us. He said, we're going to give these young guys 1 year to figure it out. On your rookie contract, on your rookie deal, that first year as a rookie, we're going to give you an opportunity to get your feet wet, and we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. After that first year, if you're not cutting it that second year, you're gone. Dax Milne replaces AGG. They didn't love what they saw out of AGG. They didn't like the progression that he was showing them, and they did like Dax Milne. I like Dax Milne, and Dax Milne helps them in a multitude of ways because I don't think DeAndre Carter is going to be on this football team for very much longer. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Milne in, AGG out. So let me say this one final time. The Gandhi Man has been silenced. There'll be no more Antonio Gandy Golden here in Washington, at least not right now. So 7 receivers was a thing, and it turned out to be the right thing. 4 tight ends. Logan Thomas, John Bates, Sammy Reyes, Ricky Seals-Jones. We had this conversation when I gave you my projection. I had 3 tight ends, but I told you they don't trust Sammy Reyes to be ready to help them right away. So Ricky Seals-Jones is the guy that's going to play, and Sammy Reyes will be the guy that's inactive. So they couldn't expose him to waivers and get him back. They knew that. So they essentially covered their asses by having Ricky Seals-Jones on the roster, and then they'll be able to inactive. They'll be able to make Sammy Reyes inactive on game days, but he'll still be on the roster and still getting the tutelage that he needs to progress as a football player. So that's one of the places you could look at and say they needed that roster spot from Peyton Barber, but that's not where I think it ultimately happened. Let's move on to the next position. Offensive line. I got this one completely right. This one was a very easy one to kind of decipher. David Sharp, who they traded for last year, has barely played in camp. He was on the COVID list for much of camp. And I told you the wild card here, the guy that made this very, very easy for the staff to make it 9 was Sadiq Charles. He was the X factor here. His ability to play 4 positions made it easy for the team to cut ties with that extra tackle that they normally would carry on the roster. So 9 offensive linemen allows you to cut off a corner there and shave off a little bit of fat. So on offense, we got this part right again, 26 offensive players. So it is uneven and balanced in the favor of the offense. Figured that would be the case. 26 offensive players, which takes us to the defensive side of the football. So let's take a look at the defense quickly. And we start with the defensive line, 9 guys. I had 8. Here's where I think Peyton Barber lost his roster spot right here. You got Chase Young, Montez Sweat, James Smith-Williams, Casey Toohill. Told you those 4 were going to make the football team. Ron said he wanted a veteran on the squad, so there's your veteran, Casey Toohill. I mean, James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill are both second-year players, but Shaka Toney was the guy that I didn't expect to make the roster, but I told you he was coming on like gangbusters, and I told you he was the most impressive guy defensively, along with David Bada, against the Ravens in a game where it looked like no one showed up to play. Shaka Toney showed me some things. I told you he's got juice off the edge. I was a little disappointed early in camp with him, but he came on strong. They noticed it. They didn't want to expose him to waivers. I'm not saying he's going to play nor be a contributor this year, but they didn't want to expose him to the rest of the league. And so they kept Shaka Toney as a 9th defensive lineman, 5th defensive end. And that, to me, I think might be a product, too, of Casey Toohill not being healthy right now. They don't know when he's going to be ready to come back from that toe. So Shaka Toney gives them a little bit of depth in the event that Casey Toohill is not ready come week 1 versus the Chargers. And then the rest of the group is self-explanatory. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle to round out that group. So I think this is where Peyton Barber lost his spot right here to Shaka Toney. This 9th defensive lineman was something we weren't counting on. So they go 9 offensive linemen, 9 defensive linemen. Linebacker is woof. This was a bit of a surprise here. 4 linebackers: Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, John Bostic, Khalil Hudson. Now, let me be honest with you. I had 6. You know the 2 leftovers I had, okay? I had the 2 core special teamers that I thought would be here: Jarrett Norris, who was here last year, and David Mayo, who was signed this year. Both Ron Rivera guys from Carolina. I thought those guys would be on the roster, but let's keep it a buck. Ron said, look, I only need 4 core dudes, which that's what he has. Now, he can't go into the season with 4 linebackers. This has to change. They're going to sign someone. I told you I thought they would sign someone eventually, but I didn't think it would be at the linebacker position. I thought they were going to keep their 6 linebackers, be comfortable with the 2 special teams linebackers only. This is the position we've been worried about the entire time. And look, they trimmed off all of the fat. All of those guys that were there, none of them were any good. None of those guys are going to be able to contribute in any other way than special teams. Frankly, I think Ron has just shown me something that I didn't expect. And I got more respect for Ron today after seeing this 53-man roster than I did the day before, when I thought he was going to keep 2 linebackers that didn't contribute in any other way but special teams. So I think Ron did the right thing, honestly speaking. We're going to see what happens with this position, because you cannot go into the season with just 4 linebackers. But the 2 guys we had were dead weight. Dead weight. So we'll see what happens. Cornerback, 6 guys. I had 6 going into my projection, but I didn't have the right 6. I had 5 out of the 6. William Jackson III, Kendall Fuller, Benjamin St. Juste, Torrey McTyer, and Troy Apke were all guys that I knew were going to be on this football team. I had Jimmy Moreland. That probably was the biggest surprise cut of the day. And Darryl Roberts came on strong towards the end. And if you want to talk about the one guy that showed up in the secondary against the Ravens, it was Darryl Roberts. He made a bunch of plays, a bunch of tackles. He was physical. He started to flash late. And I told you, I didn't think they loved Jimmy. I told you guys that at the beginning of training camp. And a lot of you told me I was crazy. I said, guys, if you remember this conversation, I said, guys, Jimmy could be in trouble. And y'all told me I was crazy. Leave Jimmy alone. He's the people's corner. I'm like, I'm just telling you, I don't know if they love Jimmy. But I didn't think they were going to cut him. I thought at the beginning of camp, Darryl Roberts might have a shot. And then I saw Darryl Roberts, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really think so. But I told you, Ron, he showed us some things in that preseason game. Do you remember how long it was before Jimmy finally got the hell out of the game? Do you remember how long it was before safety, what's the other safety's name? Jeremy Reeves got out of the game. So for Reeves, he didn't get out of the game. He stayed in the whole time, and Jimmy Moreland didn't get out until the 4th quarter. That should have told you everything you needed to know. And I tried to convince myself otherwise, but I said, man, and I mentioned it to you guys on overtime. I said, man, Jimmy was in the game an awfully long time, but so was Darryl Roberts and some of these other guys. So I was like, I'm not worried about it. Jimmy's still good. No, Jimmy's not good. Jimmy's gone, and Darryl Roberts is now in as a cornerback. And then finally, safety. I had 4 safeties. I knew they wanted to keep 5. And I knew they wanted to keep rookie Derek Forrest. I didn't know how bad the hamstring injury was and would they, put him on an injury on IR or something like that. I thought they would, but they ultimately decided to keep him. They love him as a special teams guy. I don't think he contributes as a safety on the field, but as a special teams guy, he is terrific. So they went with 5 safeties: Landon Collins, Cam Curl, Bobby McCain, DeShazer Everett, and Derek Forrest for a grand total of 24 defensive players. So we got that right as well. And then you wrap this thing up with the specialists. Nothing changes here. We knew this. This was the biggest lock of them all. Tressway, Dustin Hopkins, Cameron Cheeseman, your 3 specialists on the ball club. So now you have been informed as to what the 53-man roster looks like now. Again, I don't think this is the final 53-man roster, but this is what we have as of right now. Let's get to some of your comments real quick. And we start with Brant Jenkins. Thank you for the super chat, Brant Jenkins. Greatly appreciate you. Brant Jenkins writes, hey, Lou, 4 linebackers. Are you concerned? Do you think they will see what linebackers become available, or you think we see a lot of 4-2-5 defense? No, I don't. So you play more nickel than anything else anyway, right? So you're going to see a lot of 4-2-5, okay, because that's your nickel. We're going to be in nickel more than we are in our base. That's a fact. But the fact of the matter is you still don't want to have 4 linebackers, and that's just it. I mean, excuse me, God forbid something happens to, a couple of guys in the same game. What are you going to do? You can't even play base at that point. You'd have to literally bring in a safety to play one of your linebacker spots. And that safety doesn't know that linebacker spot that well. So I don't think this is how it ultimately ends up. Am I nervous about it? No, but we didn't love the depth. All they did was they said, we don't love it either. That's essentially all they did with cutting David Mayo and Jarrett Norris. Is they said, yeah, we know the depth is an issue and we don't like it either. So we're going to go ahead and cut bait with those guys. There's got to be at least 1 more linebacker. I think possibly 2 more guys that they're going to sign. I think Derek Forrest could end up on IR, which means short-term IR. Remember, you can bring guys back with the new rules right now. And so I think Derek Forrest is on IR. That opens up a roster spot for a linebacker because I don't know what's going to happen with his toe. I think Casey Toohill, with his hamstring, Casey Toohill is another candidate to be on IR. We don't know what's going on with his toe. He's been on the side practice field for a very long time. I mean, he might be ready come week 1, but that's another guy that could be a candidate for IR, short-term IR, and then that would allow you 2 roster spots to free up for linebackers that you could bring in and really round out that room and group. So for me, I'm looking around at the roster. Torrey McTyer, how serious is the concussion? These are all candidates to put on IR, which would allow you to sign a linebacker or 2 and really, like I said, round out that group and kind of figure out how you want to go about your roster because you're more likely to be able to sneak a guy through waivers during the season than you are in this period of time. Everyone's looking, everyone's scouring through the waiver wire to see who's available. You're not sneaking anybody through right now. You put that guy out on the street in week 4 and less people are paying attention. Now, that's the job of a GM, is to not let anybody sneak through the waiver wire without him knowing. But when you're so focused on your team and what you've got going on, it could easily happen where a guy slips through the radar. You think you're set at that position, and then you're allowed. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But to me, there's no way they're comfortable with 4 linebackers. They can't be. There's no way. Impossible. So I think something's going to be done. I really, really do. Thank you for the super chat, Brant Jenkins. Greatly appreciate you. Let's see. Got one here from Joshua Farish. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua Farish. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Joshua Farish, writes, Lou, with most of our backup linebackers getting cut, do you think we will play 2 linebackers most of the time, have 5 DBs on the field? I believe KS is doing the same thing. So here's the thing. We are going to be in nickel, and this is what I just said, and we've talked about this before. We're in nickel 65 to 70% of the time. It's a passing league. Rarely are you going to be on the field in your base personnel with 3 linebackers on the field more so than 40% in any given game. Okay, that's just the nature of the beast in the NFL. You play against some run-dominant teams, then maybe you'll get to have your base personnel on the field for more than 40% of the snaps. But more likely than not, teams are putting 3 wide receivers on the field or more, and that's going to get you out of your base set a lot of times because you want to match their personnel with your personnel. So if they've got 3 receivers on the field, you'd like to put a 3rd corner on the field, which gives you, a nickel package, gives you 2 linebackers, 5 DBs, 4 defensive linemen. We've seen that a ton from this team, and you're going to see it a lot more. So that's not uncommon. That's league-wide that you generally, if you got an athletic enough linebacker, you can stay in your base because if that linebacker is athletic enough, you can still do some things even if they've got a 3rd receiver on the field. But a lot of times you want to match personnel. So you take a linebacker off the field and you put a corner on the field. So again, this isn't new. Like when the discussion of the 5-2 defense, 5-2-4 with 5 down linemen came up, I'm like, why is everyone making such a big deal about this? We did this a ton last season. When we had trouble stopping the run, our answer for that was to put an extra down lineman on the field. Take a linebacker off the field. So why is everyone acting like this is some kind of brand new revelation that they're rolling out this year? We did it a bunch last year. So I don't think having less linebackers is okay no matter what formation you're playing, no matter what defense you're playing, whatever your base is. It's not okay to just have 4 linebackers on your roster. It's not okay because you need depth. Even if nothing happens to our linebackers, and we pray that that's the case, you still want to be in a position that if something does, you got a guy or 2. And what you don't want to do is wait until something happens, and now you're desperate and it's slim pickings. A lot of linebackers getting released today and yesterday. Scour through that group, find a couple of young guys that you like, bring them on board. That's how I feel. But you don't want to wait until all of the good stuff has been snatched up and you're left with scraps. And last year we were actually fortunate. We were lucky that Kendricks was still out there. Because generally a guy of his caliber isn't available. Only reason he was available was because he was going through his legal issues with the insider trading, and so nobody touched him. So we were fortunate to have him be on the street and was able to bring him in late in the season. But you don't want to put yourself in that position. So we'll see. They've got something up their sleeve. I know that much. We'll see what happens. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua Farish. Got another super chat. This one is from Santiago Tradell. Thank you for the super chat, Santiago Tradell. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, blessings, Lou. Blessings to you as well, Santiago. He said, I knew AGG was gone and Cam Sims was staying. I love we kept Jay Patterson. Love you, bro. Likewise. And so Patterson was a definite no doubter. Okay. That's one of those velo exit velocities of 110 off the bat. You know, it's gone. The outfielder doesn't even move because he knows that thing's well over the fence. That was Jared Patterson. That was a home run after the Bengals game. Okay. I'm not surprised that AGG got cut, but I thought he had a shot. And he did have a shot, but he didn't make the football team. And am I upset about it? No, I'm not upset. I wasn't going to bang the table for AGG. I just, they spent a 4th round pick, on him last year, and I thought they were going to give him more time. That's all. All right. But in watching him, I never walked away super impressed with what I saw. Never, not once. Even when he was snatching the ball out of the air a couple of times, he still looked like a guy that was thinking of too much. Like he catches it, now he's like, I got to protect it. I can't let him hit. Like he always just seemed like he was missing one key ingredient. And that was the confidence. Like, I'm a baller. I don't think he doesn't look like a guy that in his mind has the confidence of a dude that thinks he's a baller. I belong. They can't stop me. I think he's missing that. I even listened to an interview after the Ravens game, and matter of fact, he had a presser after the Ravens game. And he was asked about things he could improve upon, and he said, my aggressiveness, attacking the football and attacking defenders and, just being more aggressive overall. I can't tell you to be more aggressive. I can't teach you to be more aggressive. I teach my son, who's 2 years old, to be aggressive. And he's being aggressive right now. That's a problem now at school. He's getting in trouble for being too aggressive. I'd rather have my son be over aggressive than meek and soft. I'm not saying AGG's meek or soft. I'm just saying he's not aggressive. And when you're that big, the part of the reason you're here is because you're supposed to be aggressive, physical, a specimen, hard to contain because of your size. That's Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas isn't a speed demon. Michael Thomas doesn't do anything really great. He's not a tremendous route runner. Michael Thomas is just aggressive and physical and mean and nasty. That's how he gets open. That's how he takes the football away from defenders. That's not AGG, man. He's a nice guy. He fixes Rubik's cubes. That's AGG, and that's okay. But that'll get you cut. And it did. Thank you for the super chat, Santiago Trudell. Let me run through here real quick. See. Shout out to Ephraim the Faithful for being a member of the Mob Squad. Likewise to my guy, Pac-Man D3. Big shout out to y'all. Condoleezza Perry. See you in the chat. Oh, we got a new member, Jake Willis. Stand up, Jake. You are officially a member of the Mob Squad. Glad to have you, Mob Squad members. Open your arms wide and welcome our new member, Jake Willis, who is now a gold member. Stand up. You are officially in the building as a member of the MOBB. Welcome aboard, Jake. Glad to have you. Got us another super chat here from Keith Payne. Thank you for the super chat, Keith Payne. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Keith writes, seriously, T, wearing a black hoodie on roster day? Look, man, this black hoodie is for all of those who didn't make it today, man. I didn't go all black and dressed in all black like the Omen because it's not 100% a bad day. There's some guys that, like Shaka Tony, that probably didn't think they were going to make the football team or didn't know, and he did make it. It's a glorious day for him. Dax Milne was like, look, I did everything I could do. Now I just got to wait to see what happens. He made the team. I'm happy for him. Jared Patterson, happy for that dude. Darryl Roberts, I didn't think he was going to make it. Happy for that guy. Welcome to the family. But everybody didn't have happily ever after today, man. And for them, for all the people that did make the roster, that's what the burgundy and gold is for, man. But for all of those who left too soon, that's what the black is for, man. They're not having a great day today. AGG isn't having a great day today. Jimmy Moreland is no longer the people's corner. He's not having a great day today. So, no, everybody's not excited. So you have to make sure you pay your proper respects to all of those who are affected by today's 53-man roster cutdown day. And some were affected in a positive manner. That's what the hat is for. And some, unfortunately, no longer with us on this football team. And that's what the black is for, man. You got to make sure you take care of everybody, man. Because, again, once a member of the family, always a member of the family. And I'll always cherish the good times with Jimmy, man. There's always going to be week 1 against the Eagles last year with that big interception. There'll always be that with Jimmy, man. And with AGG, I'll just always remember when we drafted him how excited I was because I thought I liked him and I thought this guy could be something. I was wrong, at least not here. Maybe somewhere else he turns out to be a really good player, but I was wrong. But there'll always be the memories, man. I'll always cherish them, okay? So on this day, we salute those guys, all right, for the fallen soldiers that didn't make it. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Keith Payne. Greatly appreciate you. Got another super chat. This is from the BHHD Washington Report. Thank you for the super chat. The BHHD Washington Report says, hey, Lou, serious question. Kanye or Drake? Laughing emoji. Look, man, I quit Kanye a long time. I'm a massive Kanye. I was. Let me reiterate that. I was a massive Kanye West fan. His early work, his first probably 5 albums, 4 out of the 5, I loved him. I wasn't an 808 guy, but I think the last one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I guess Watch the Throne, I enjoyed that as well. But the last one I thoroughly enjoyed was Twisted Dark Fantasy. And how many albums have we had since then? A bunch. I'm good. I'm a Drake guy right now. I'm more of a Drake guy now than Kanye, but Kanye, at my peak of being a Kanye fan, it was greater than what I am as a Drake fan right now. Anyway, I digress. Got another new member, Derek Brown. Thank you for your membership. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Derek, welcome to the Mob Squad. Stand up. My guy, Derek Brown, is definitely in the building. Brand new member, bronze member of the Mob Squad. Mob, open up wide and make sure y'all let my man know we in this thing for life. Derek, welcome to the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you and glad to have you. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Derek B, writes, shit, Cam, if you want Dub fans to be Ashburned to think that 3 interchangeable quarterbacks is a good thing, he says Ryan Fitzpatrick and Cam Newton are greater than Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen, Rip to Barber. I disagree with that statement. I vehemently disagree because I don't think Cam Newton is that guy anymore. I don't think he's that guy anymore. And for as much as we don't know about Taylor Heineke, I'm more interested in seeing him than I am. I know what Cam Newton is as a football player now. I already know. You do too. I don't know why you're trying to convince yourself that he's still got that 2015 mojo in there somewhere because it's not there anymore. It is excruciating watching him throw the football. He's standing on his tippy toes and throwing as hard as he can possibly throw the football. We've gone through that already with Dwayne Haskins. I don't want another fastball thrower here in Washington. I'm good. Spare me. I don't need a guy that has a receiver 3 yards away from him and he's throwing a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm good. Cam Newton has a specific skill set, and I think he can help someone, but I don't think that someone is us. I think he would be more than welcome in Dallas. I think he'd be more than welcome in Philadelphia. I think he'd make a great quarterback for the Texans right now, especially if they didn't have Tyrod, but they do. I think there are other destinations. Seattle, if Russell Wilson was okay with that, that would be another place that I would be interested in if I were Cam Newton in his camp. Baltimore is another spot. If they aren't as high on Tyler Huntley, I think that's another place that would be really intriguing. Here isn't one of them. And I know he's got familiarity with Ron and Scott and the offense and this, that, and the third. I don't even think he's a good fit for this offense if you want to keep it above. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't think he's the long-term nor the short-term answer here. That's less than we can say about Heineke and you know how I feel about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I feel just the same way about Fitzpatrick as I do Cam. I didn't want him here either. Neither one of those dudes. Never wanted Fitzpatrick, don't want Cam. So my stance hasn't changed. It's the same. So anyway, I digress. Hey, if you're out there, do the kid a huge favor and hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Also, hit the like button. There are over 540 of you out there, yet I don't have 100 likes yet. Why? Come on, guys. Bless the kid. Really appreciate y'all. Derek B, thank you for that super chat. And big shout out to the newest member of the mob, Derek Brown. He says he's here in Kuwait. So, woo, he's in Kuwait. So, really appreciate you, Derek Brown. I'm going to hold you down here in the States. Don't worry. Santiago Tradell, double up. Thank you for doubling up. Santiago Tradell, greatly appreciate you. My guy, Santiago Tradell, writes, thoughts on Jaret Patterson at kick and punt return, bro? He's not going to be a punt returner. If it were that simple, if he were going to be back on both, then you don't have to keep DeAndre Carter at all. He's not a necessity. The only reason DeAndre Carter is on this roster is because he's going to serve as both our kickoff and punt returner, okay? So Patterson is a guy that can help you as a kick returner as well. You know, normally on kickoffs, they got two guys back there, generally speaking. You know, one on each side just in case the kickoff return, the kickoff specialist wants to get cute and kick it all the way to one side of the field. You got a guy on one side and you got a guy on the other side. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But I think both of those guys, because you got three running backs. So Jaret Patterson is now going to be active on game days. So again, that's assuming that they don't put Peyton Barber on the practice squad and pull him up and put Jaret Patterson down. We'll see. Again, I think there are so many different things they can do on game day that will blow some of your minds. Like, where's Jaret Patterson? How did Peyton Barber get back here? If he's on the practice squad, we're not done with the barber and we're not done getting fresh cuts, man. So we'll see what happens. But Patterson on kickoff return, he showed us a little something in the Cincinnati game, so I'm intrigued. But he is not a punt returner. They have guys for that. They kept two guys for that, and we'll see what they are able to do. Got another super chat. This one is from Rob Yu, my guy, Rob Yu. Thank you for the super chat, and big shout out to Rob Yu for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, what up, Lou? What up, Rob? Is Ruben Foster a possibility? No, they don't want any parts of Ruben Foster. He doesn't fit the culture here. They don't like the things that are in his past. And you could tell Ron had really no interest in bringing Ruben Foster along. I mean, if they really were intrigued by Ruben Foster, they could have just re-signed him in the offseason. Even when he wasn't 100% healthy, if they really liked him, they could have given him more time. You know, if you like a guy, they didn't have to cut. They didn't have to not re-sign him, essentially, is what I'm saying. It wouldn't have taken a lot of money to bring him back on a one-year deal. If he liked it here in Washington and they liked him and his work ethic, and he, by all accounts, he was a good Samaritan here while he was in Washington, he would have had an opportunity, but they didn't. I don't think Ron feels like he's a part of the culture that they're trying to build. So I never thought that he would last here. And I told you guys as much. He was asked about Ruben Foster at least 3 different times in the offseason before free agency and things of that nature. And Ron pretty much Dikembe Mutombo, Rudy Gobert, every single one of those questions. Get that shit out of here, man. You know, he said all the right things, but none of it was encouraging in the manner that you would expect if you like a guy that you're going to keep him. So, no, I don't think. And I've seen, I've seen videos of Ruben Foster working out. He looks to be in tremendous shape, but he won't be here. I can tell you that much. Got a super chat here from Hunter Hodovic. Thank you for the super chat, Hunter Hodovic. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Hunter Hodovic, writes, what's up, T? What's up, Hunter? Not much to say, just showing some support. I feel you with those LB numbers, though. Hoping that changes before week 1. As a Liberty man myself, gonna miss AGG, though. Sad it didn't work out. HTT WFT. I was hoping it did. And I just was excited for, big kid, small school, had a skill set that we haven't seen here in Washington in quite some time with his size. I mean, obviously we have Cam Sims now, but, when we drafted him, we still didn't know what Cam Sims was. Some of you out there did, and you loved Cam Sims. I wasn't a Cam Sims fan then. So I was excited when we got AGG because, again, we've had a bunch of smaller receivers. We don't do 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" behemoths here. all of our guys are always 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1" at max. So, you know, we had Josh Doxson, who's probably 6'2", and he turned out to be. What is up with us and these meek receivers who don't use their size to their, you know, best capabilities? Like, we always get the guys that are okay with getting holed on the football field. Like, you know, he seems like a nice guy. I don't know if I want to be mean and push him and go get the football. He seems like a nice guy. So, you know, in football, nice guys finish last. So we seem to always get the guys that are really nice and, you know, would make a great neighbor, but that's not what you're looking for on the football field. You know, I've talked about this already. This is back when, you know, Bruce Allen was here and we wanted Boy Scouts. And I was like, look, you field a team of Boy Scouts, you're going to get your ass kicked on most Sundays. Sorry, not sorry. You know, I'm not saying you want criminals on your team, and Ron doesn't want any criminals. He wants good character guys, but he also wants badasses too. And AGG doesn't strike me as a badass. He strikes me as a nice guy, a really nice guy that's probably a part of several book clubs, and that's okay. But again, that's not going to win you football games. So, and I like AGG. Okay, I know a lot of you go, oh man, he's shitting on AGG now. He's not a part of the team. That's not even it. I wanted this guy here, but I can tell you, I didn't see the dog. I didn't see a dog. I saw a puppy. You're not afraid of that. Even if that dog is barking loud, you're not afraid. It's a little puppy. You kick that little puppy. Get out of here, man. If need be. And I'm not looking to incite animal violence here on the Louie T Network. I'm not a dog guy. But, you know, you're not kicking a big dog that's barking at you. You ain't kicking that guy. You're running for cover. Anyway, I digress. Got a brand new member, The Blocker. Thank you for your membership. Greatly appreciate you, The Blocker. Stand up, The Blocker. You are in the building as a brand new gold member. Salute to you for all that you do for this great country. And thank you for your membership. Mob, you know what to do. Give that man a grand welcome. The Blocker, welcome to the MOBB as a gold member. Got another one here from Enigma RJ. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Enigma RJ. Thank you for being a member of the Mob Squad as well. Sup, Lou? Sup, Enigma? Says, did Ramon make the cut? Yeah. Yeah and no. So when I got my hair, plaited up, Ramon was starting to break off on the edges there. So, you know, wifey had to make a business decision on that one. She saved as much of them as she could, put them in the braid, but some of them had to get yanked off. So he's still here, some of it at least. The rest is in spirit. So for the most part, yeah, he's still around in some capacity. Shout out to Ramon, my guy Ramon. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Enigma RJ. Got another new member of the Mob Squad. Brian Say, stand up, Brian. You know you're my guy as it is already. Welcome to the MOBB. As a gold member, my guy Brian Say, come on in. Plenty of space. Mob Squad. Give this man a mob welcome. Mob him. Brian Say, welcome to the Mob Squad. Really appreciate you and your membership. Let's see. Shout out to Rashid Fry. See you in the comment section as well. Anthony Shannon, I see you. Thank you for your membership as well. Carlton Pagano Jackson, my guy CPJ. What it do? Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, what's going on, Lou? What's going on, CPJ? He says, a few surprise cuts today, but I love it. Ron is laying the foundation. Here is the thing. about what Ron did today. Ron essentially showed us that I have no favorites here. I'm showing no favoritism. And I do what I say. I'm not just airing my mouth out because I like the sound of my own voice. I do what I say. Ron said, I only need 4 linebackers for real. Okay. All these other guys could really go. I didn't think he was really going to do it. He said it and he did it. And those were his guys from Carolina. He could have showed favoritism. This is why you want guys after they've had their first coaching stint, because when you make mistakes the first time, you tell yourself, I'm not doing that again. Let me get another job. I'll make sure I don't do that again. In Carolina, he would have held on to those linebackers. Why? Because he would have had that loyalty to those guys. And he said the first time around, he was loyal to a fault. He says, this time around, I'm not going to let my roster get old. I'm not going to hold on to guys because of loyalty. And I'm not going to make mistakes with young players that I just don't see it with. I'm not going to hold on to them. You've got to be willing to admit you made a mistake. They did that with AGG. I can respect that. I can respect that. I told you they didn't love Jimmy. I told you I didn't love Jimmy. I said, I don't see it from Jim, man. I don't. And a lot of y'all was like, man, Jimmy's a beast. Give him a chance. I'm like, I don't see it with Jim. The only thing I liked about Jimmy was he was a dog in the screen game. You threw a screen over there, Jimmy was going to snuff it out. But as far as making plays on the ball, Jimmy was too timid. And again, I think some of that had to do with the fact that they moved Jimmy inside, and Jimmy wanted to play outside with the big boys. And I just don't think he ever was given that chance. But at the end of the day, I didn't see it from Jimmy. I didn't see it from either of those linebackers. And Ron said, it's all good. They all gone. It's all good. And I didn't think he had the balls to do it. I learned something about Ron today. It ain't what you've done for me. It's what you gonna do for me. I love it. That's the problem in Washington. For so many years, we wanted to talk about what guys have done. And we weren't worried about what guys were gonna do. And that's how you sign guys to contracts that they don't belong having, because you're paying guys for what they're gonna do. Too many times we were paying guys for what they have done. It's a new day, man. It's Ron's plan. Ron's plan. And I absolutely love it. Thank you for the super chat, Carlton, Pagano, Jackson, Davey Thomas. I see you out there. Shout out, Mob Squad member. Let's see. What else? I think we got another super chat here from Condo P. Thank you for the super chat. Condo P, greatly appreciate you. Shout out to Condo P for being a member of the mob. She says, happy for Mill, McTire, and Patterson. Ron, he rewarded guys that got it done in the preseason. I mean, guys that worked hard throughout camp and then it showed on the field in the preseason games, they got rewarded. And that's another thing you love to see. One of the things I've admired about the Seattle Seahawks over the years is you could be an undrafted dude. Nobody's thinking about you. Because the Seahawks draft 15 dudes every year. That's how it used to be. They only drafted 3 guys this year. But normally they're one of those teams that they rather have 5 7th round picks than, 3 guys in the 2nd round. They just rather have 5 because they want more, darts to throw at the board. Just they go with the philosophy, hey, the more darts you give me, the more of them going to stick when I throw them. So I admired the fact that they could get a guy undrafted or in the 7th round, coach him up, and they weren't afraid to cut a dude that they just spent a 2nd round pick on or a 3rd round pick on. And, if this guy came in, outworked him, and they thought this guy has a higher ceiling, okay, well, the undrafted dude is getting your roster spot. I love that, because it breeds competition. You can't get comfortable. And if you've never done anything, a lot of guys like to rest on the fact that, yeah, I got drafted, so I'm good. No, the hell you ain't. Go out and prove it. Prove why you belong. And then when you get that contract, then you can say, all right, I'm here. But even then, don't rest on what you've done in the past. Continue to show why it is that you're here. And that's what Ron is essentially doing now. He's rewarding guys for busting their ass. I mean, who the hell heard of Torrey McTyer before all of this got underway? I mean, I was still dismissing this dude 2 weeks into camp. Like, come on, man, get out my face with this Torrey McTyer talk. He's not making the football team. And then I saw him on that Friday night with the fan appreciation night, and I was like, okay, it's time to start giving this guy a little bit more, coverage. Okay, it's time to stop dismissing him and start acknowledging Torrey McTyer and the reality that this guy could make the football team. And then you see him against New England, you see him against Cincinnati, and you're like, okay, he's here. He's trying to make this squad. So I'm happy for all of those dudes, man. They went out and got it done and earned a roster spot. Josh Kirby, I see you in the comments. Thanks for being a member of the mob. The BHHD Washington Report, double up, thank you for doubling up. BHHD Washington Report, who writes, so you're saying Ramon is on the practice squad? Not exactly. I mean, he's playing. He's active. He's active on the 53-man roster, but he's not safe, is what I'm saying. He could easily be put on IR. Somebody could take his spot. He's got to keep competing. He's got to keep showing why he's here, and he's got to stay healthy. He wasn't healthy. That's why some of them had to get chopped off. He wasn't healthy. So we're going to see if he can grow it back and get back in there and do the things that made him so successful the first time around. Thank you for the super chat, BHHD Washington Report. Got a super chat here from David Sanchez. Thank you for the super chat, David. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, Forrest over Everett. Your thoughts? Everett's on the team. They didn't cut Deshazor Everett. Let me make sure of that before I say something crazy. I'm pretty sure I didn't gloss over that though. Everett's on the squad. It was. You probably meant Reeves over Reeves. And I'm okay with that. I told you I didn't think he was going to make the team. I told you Ron pretty much told us everything by his actions. Look how long Jeremy Reeves was playing. Jeremy Reeves was running with the 2s and 3s all camp. Not a single time did he get a rep with the 1s. And I took notice of that. As the 1s are coming out of the game, we're seeing Deshazor Everett, and I'm seeing Derek Forrest in the game. I'm like, wait a minute. Where the hell is Jeremy Reeves at? And then when the third string come in, as the second team is trickling out, here comes Jeremy Reeves. I'm like, uh-oh. That's not good. So Forrest over Reeves was not a surprise. Everyone knew that was the case because Ron wants to keep his draft picks. And you look at what they did this year. What did we have? 10 draft picks? What did we keep? 9 of them? The only one that they didn't keep was William Bradley King. Am I correct on that? 2 out of the 3 7th rounders made the team. Cheeseman made the team. Forrest made the team. Obviously, Bates and Diami and all of those guys made the squad. Am I missing somebody? So Jamin Davis, Sam Cosmi, Diami Brown, and Ben and Juice. Then you get into the tight end. Oh, shucks. John Bates, Cam Cheeseman, Derek Forrest, Shaka Tony, Dax Milne, William Bradley King. So, yeah, that's all 10. So 9 of the 10 made the team. He's big on wanting to keep these draft picks. The only one that didn't make the team was William Bradley King. And then he signed a undrafted priority free agent. He's on the squad. And they signed another one, you could pretty much say, in Sammy's Reyes. He's on the squad. They're all about getting young. I told y'all what Ron's plan is all about. That's why when y'all keep bringing up a lot of these old farts and wanting to bring them onto the roster, I'm like, that's not the direction we going in. Y'all trying to infuse this roster with a bunch of 30-somethings. That's not the direction we going in. They want them young and they want them cheap. I don't blame them. Young, cheap, and talented. That's how they going right now. Thank you for the super chat, David Sanchez. Got a super chat here from B-Ball God. Thank you for the super chat. B-Ball God, greatly appreciate you, who writes, do you think Brandon Sheriff would take a 4-year, $52 million deal next year to be team friendly, which is why they wanted to get the franchise tag this year? Hell, and then to the no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you're getting Brandon Sheriff to sign on the dotted line for what is $52 million divided by 4. 48 is 12. So I would assume that that's 13 million. I'm trying to do the math in my head. I think it's 13 million per year. Are you crazy? The man just made 15 and now he's making 18 a year. And you think he's going to take 13? Not a chance. Not a chance in holy HE double hockey sticks. That man is looking for 19, 20 million per year next year. And he'll get it if he plays well. If he stays healthy for the majority of this season, he'll get a massive contract from someone. It may not be here. More likely than not, it won't be here, which is why they traded for Eric Flowers, which is why they got Sadiq Charles, which is why they have all these offensive linemen and guards, because they're preparing themselves potentially for what could be life after Brandon Sheriff. They'd love to have him, which is why they franchise tagged him twice. And I'm not saying that there's no way he could be back next year, but the likelihood is he's going to get that money somewhere else. And at this point, I'm kind of like, yeah, he needs to get it somewhere else because there are other guys we got to pay money to. And I don't think Sheriff is a guy you can pay. If you're trying to pay Terry McLaurin and Cole Holcomb and Deron Payne and some of these other guys that are coming up on needing a deal, I don't think Brandon Sheriff is a guy you can bring back. So I can assure you he's not taking the deal that you just proposed. Guarantee it. I bet everything I own. Thank you for the super chat, B-Ball God. Got a super chat here from Bree. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, Bree. Greatly appreciate you. My girl Bree writes, hey, Louie, what up, Bree? Big NFL news day. So many interesting Washington football team cuts. Any thoughts on Travis Fulgham? Eagles just cut him. Yeah, I saw that. I shed a tear for my guy. And again, that's why you wear the black today. It's not just for all Washington football team guys that didn't make it, but, you know, a fellow Monarch alum out there on the streets. Somebody will pick him up. He did some good work. I think he's done enough to stake his claim as a guy that should be in this league. And I'm glad to see him get that opportunity in Philadelphia, make the most of it. Somebody will give him an opportunity, I believe. But I didn't think he would get cut in Philadelphia. But they got so much stuff now. Over the last 2 years, they've drafted 4 receivers, plus some of the guys they already had on the team. When you draft guys, when you invest in guys, you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You're going to give them an opportunity before an undrafted guy that you signed from someone else's, off somebody else's scrap heap. So I think he'll get an opportunity somewhere else. And I'm looking. I got my eyes wide open looking to see what happens with him. I have a vested interest in him. I'm rooting for him. So we'll see what happens. A massive news day. I've already gone live once talking about the Cam Newton situation. So, yeah, it's been a crazy day, but that's what you expect. You're going to get some surprise cuts and some things that happen that you didn't anticipate taking place. And that's what you get on Cut Down Day. Thank you for the super chat, Bree. Greatly appreciate you. Let's see if we have any more. Daily Grind, I see you out there. Thank you for being a member of the Mob Squad. DCJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy, DCJ. Writes, what's good, Lou? I heard from John Kahn that Carter, as a punt returner, has the most fumbles since 18 or 19. Since 2018, he has the most fumbles as a punt returner. That is correct. Concerned? Maybe. We'll talk about that here in a second. He said, should Washington football team give McKinney a look? Speed is a must. That was one of the few guys that I looked at. And anytime somebody gets released or traded that many times in a short time span, I start to think, okay, what's wrong with the player? Because he went from, and I said this earlier, he went from an integral part of the Houston Texans young defensive core to trade bait to then becoming a member of the Dolphins and then having them cut ties with him. Something's amiss there, if you catch my drift. Something's off. Now, not to say he can't play ball. Something's not right. And maybe he just wasn't a fit schematically for what the Dolphins did. They thought he was going to be something that he wasn't when they got their hands on him. But Something doesn't seem right there. But he's young. He's talented. I wouldn't mind them kicking the tires on him. But as far as DeAndre Carter is concerned, yes. He has the most fumbles on returns. He's right up there with Alex Erickson with the Cincinnati Bengals. Those two have had the most fumbles since 2018. I think Carter has something like 8, 9, or 10, somewhere in that general vicinity. Anyway, he hasn't fumbled here in Washington. So I told you, I'm one of those guys. I'm going to give you every opportunity to prove you can until you show me that you can't. I know what you've done in the past, but this is a new opportunity. Maybe you've worked on ball security and you've gotten better at that. So we're going to see. You know, who thought that Tiki Barber would be able to change his stripes late in his career? But he did. We'll see what he does. The minute he fumbles here, one time, that's when Ron should have bells and whistles going off, because they should know already what his track record is. And I'm pretty sure they're preaching that to him. Ball security. You want a job here, ball security. And I'm hoping he takes that to heart, and is able to protect the rock. That's the first thing. That's your first job as a return man. Yeah, we want plays to be made, this, that, and the third. Protect the Duke. So that means if it's supposed to be fair caught, fair catch it. Don't try to be special. Fair catch it. If there's space and opportunity, secure the catch first. Now go make a play. Make sure you secure the Duke. Protect it at all costs. So I hope he understands that. If he doesn't, then he won't be here very long. Thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Got another super chat. This one is from my guy, Hidden Rain, Pac-Man D3. Thank you for being a member of the mob. Greatly appreciate you, Pac-Man D3, who writes, Green Bay cut St. Brown. He worth a look. You the GOAT, bro. No, Equanimous St. Brown is not worth a look. And you know I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. I wasn't impressed with him in Green Bay. He just never seemed to be able to get right in Green Bay. And when you can't get right with Aaron Rodgers, I worry, because Aaron Rodgers as a receiver makes your job a lot easier. You know, he puts it right where it needs to be. You just got to run the damn route. And I just saw him struggling, man. Struggling. So I'm good on Equanimous. I think his brother, Amon-Ra, is actually better than him. And we'll see what happens with Equanimous St. Brown, because he is talented. And he's big. You know, you can't teach his height. But I wasn't impressed with him in Green Bay. And I followed him very closely, as I often do, you know, Golden Domers. So I think he is a guy that is going to just have to figure it out in the league, you know, latch on somewhere. And if he gets another opportunity, take advantage of it. SOL's Nation, thank you for being a member of the mob. I see you out there. Big ups. Got a super chat here from Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Red Wings 01, who writes, bit surprised Tuhill made it over William Bradley King with his injuries and William Bradley King showing out. Guess they think he can help more now. So happy for Samis. What a story. So I'm not surprised about Tuhill making it over William Bradley King. Ron essentially told us, I want a veteran there. I don't want a bunch of rookies running around as backups. So James Smith-Williams was there, and that meant Tuhill was going to more likely than not be on the roster. And I told you, I don't know if you guys remember me saying this, of all the draft picks. And first, before I do this, before I pat myself on the back, double O time. Okay, I was wrong. Antonio Gandy Golden did not make the football team. I do need to say that. I do need to acknowledge I was wrong there, because I was adamant. I gave that as one of my 5 declarations. He was going to make the football team. So that does warrant a double O. God, I hate doing that. Anyway, it has to be done. Own your shit. I always tell you guys that. Own your shit. I got to own my shit. It stinks, but I got to own it. So Ron told us, want veterans. And I told you, of the 10 draft picks that we took, The one guy I was like, yeah. And, I wasn't like Cameron Cheeseman's a long snapper. I mean, what are you going to do? So take him out of the equation. Of the other 9 guys, he was the one I was like, I don't know. I'm not really that high on William Bradley King. I know they like his positional flex and he's a physical, high energy guy. I told you I loved his energy, but energy only gets you so far. All right. I said Shaka Toney and Dax Milne of the 7th round picks, they're the talented ones. They got a legitimate shot of being around here for a long time. I didn't think either one of them were going to make the team. I thought Shaka was going to make the team for sure. But then I was like, nah, Shaka's not making this thing. And he ultimately did. But they know there's talent there. He's got juice off the edge, real juice. I worry about him in the run game. That's not why he's here. He's not here to stop the run. He's here on 3rd and 8, and Montez Sweat needs a blow. Shaka Toney's the man for the job. It's 1st down, 2nd down, James Smith-Williams get in there. It's a 3rd down, and we know they got to throw it. And one of those big pass rushers are out. Shaka, get in there. See if you can bag yourself a quarterback. He's got juice off the edge. So I love that move. And we're all happy for Sam East. The guy, he wants it. He wants it bad. And he's willing to do whatever it takes. And no, he's not ready yet. And that's why they had to keep Ricky Seals-Jones, because Sam East is not ready to contribute yet. But they know that this guy down the line could be a problem around the league. And I've seen it happen. I've seen guys put in the work. Like, I remember when Darren Waller was a receiver drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. I remember when Darren Waller was in the substance abuse program and having trouble even staying on the field. I remember when Darren Waller was making the conversion to tight end and he was on the Ravens practice squad warming up before the game. And I remember when the Raiders said, who in the hell is that? And why is he not playing? And I remember when the Raiders put in the claim, and now look at Darren Waller. You got to be willing to put in the work with some of these dudes. And I'm not saying he's going to turn into Darren Waller. I'm not saying he's going to turn into Jimmy Graham or any of those guys. What I'm saying is he could turn into a damn good football player if we're willing to put and invest the work in, because he's willing to invest and put the work in. So I think we're all happy for Sam East because we know the guy's willing to work. Thank you for the super chat. I got one here from Fat American. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Really appreciate you being a member of the MOBB as well, Fat American. Thank you for the super chat. Who writes, Bradley King ain't make it. Also, KJ Wright. Not surprised about Bradley King, as I mentioned already. Didn't think he was going to make the football team. KJ Wright, talked about him earlier, talked about him before. Again, I just don't think he fits where we are as an organization. Again, you want young players that's going to grow with this team as we move forward. I think KJ Wright's every bit of 32 years old. I don't think he is in the point of his career where he wants to come on board with a team that's not in a position to win a chip. And furthermore, I don't think we're in a position as an organization to be looking at a 32-year-old linebacker. When you sign a guy like that, it's because you're trying to make a championship run. I've already said that KJ Wright is a great fit on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, which is where he left. These are teams that we think have a chance to win a Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers, if they had an injury, KJ Wright would be the first person I would call. If he's in shape, I bring him in for a workout. He looks good. Because those are the types of teams that a guy like KJ Wright, 32 years old, he's only playing for one thing at this point. Yeah, he wants to get paid too. So I shouldn't say one thing, probably two. But he's also looking to try to win something of significance. And that's not happening here. And on the flip side of that, if you're Washington, I'm not taking away snaps from any of my young guys. I'm not looking to take away any snaps from anybody. I mean, you could say, well, hell, let him take John Bostic's spot. I hear that and I feel that. But KJ Wright has played a specific role in this league of an outside linebacker. He's been a hell of an outside linebacker for a very long time. One of the things they love about all three of the guys that are currently starting on this team is that they can play all three linebacker spots. KJ Wright can't do that. So essentially, he would come in and be essentially what we look at Khaleke Hudson as, a guy that can play both outside spots. Well, we're not looking to take any reps away from Khaleke Hudson. If somebody goes down on the linebacking court, Khalid Hudson should be the next man up, not KJ Wright. So I just don't see how KJ Wright makes sense for what we're trying to do as an organization. Roster building wise, KJ Wright doesn't make any sense here. So thank you for the super chat, Fat American. Let's see. Got another super chat here from Rashid Fry. Thank you for the super chat and for your membership as a member of the Mob Squad. Greatly appreciate you, Rashid Fry, who writes, Lou, unfortunately, I think we will have another multi-quarterback situation to reach the postseason. Not saying, just saying. Hit them likes, squad. You heard the man. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. I love that number's up over 200 now. I really do appreciate that. Let's get it up over 3. It's damn near 600 of y'all out there. We can get this thing up to 300. We can do it. We might have to. I told you, I never envisioned Ryan Fitzpatrick starting all 17. So if we do get there, and he can't be the starter either. I've already told you, any team with Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starting quarterback is not allowed to make the postseason. That is in the NFL rule books. It is in the bylaws. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. That's it. So at the end of the day, if we want to go to the postseason, more likely than not, it'll have to be Taylor Heineke or Kyle Allen leading the way. Fitz can take us only so far. But we'll see, man. Maybe he breaks that streak this year, and maybe they have to rewrite the NFL record books. Or rules books, excuse me. We'll see. Highly unlikely. Thank you for the super chat, Rashid Fry. Really appreciate you. Derek Brown. Once again, welcome to the mob. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. My guy, Derek Brown, writes, is KJ Wright a possibility? And love your content. Been watching since 2017. Lastly, Red Wolves, your choice, or it doesn't matter? Does not matter. If it's Red Wolves, I'm cool with it. If it's not, I'm cool with that too. I already told you, as long as they don't embarrass us, which I don't think they will, you can't be right with the name. It's not going to be right, whatever they choose. So you want to just please the vast majority of the fan base, just go ahead and name it Red Wolves. That's the vast majority of fans want it to be Red Wolves. So if you can't please everybody, please the most people that you can. And Red Wolves would do that. So I'm all for it, but I don't care. As far as you watching since 2017, I really do appreciate you, man. I truly do. People like you who have been watching for as long as you have and been consistent and dedicated, you're the real MVPs. I really do appreciate all of you guys out there. And KJ Wright, talked about him at least 3 times already. He's a possibility. I'm not ruling him out. I just don't think he's a fit here. Period. I would be more surprised if KJ Wright is signed than a 25-year-old linebacker that just got cut from the San Francisco 49ers, or a 24-year-old that just got cut off the Cleveland Browns roster. Like, that to me makes more sense for us than a 32-year-old linebacker who might be in the twilight of his career, but also is looking to win something big. You're not looking to take snaps from young players. You're looking to add more youth to your roster and give the young guys an opportunity to run wild and free. So you don't do that when you bring on a 32-year-old guy. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, Derek Brown. Got another new mob member, and it is Trucking with A. Really do appreciate you. Trucking with A. Stand up. Trucking with A. You are officially in the building as a member of the Mob Squad, silver member. I really like saying that. Trucking with A. Anyway, welcome to the mob. Mob, you know what to do. Really appreciate you and your membership. Let's see. Got another super chat This one, or another, I got another member. This new member is Corey Kidwell. Thank you for the membership, Corey Kidwell. Stand up, my guy Corey. You are officially in the building as a member of the MOBB mob. You know what to do. Corey, welcome aboard. You won't be sorry. Thank you for your membership, Corey Kidwell, new silver member of the squad. All right, DCJ, double up, thank you for doubling up, DCJ, greatly appreciate you, my guy, DCJ. Right, I'm getting the vibe, if linebacker isn't addressed, I see a lot of 3 safeties on the field, even in base. I don't think that's going to affect the way they play. If they want to call a 4-3 defensive scheme, you know, early in a ball game against somebody coming out in, 21 personnel with a running back, a fullback in the backfield, and 2 wide receivers, I don't think that's going to change. If somebody comes out in 21 personnel, they're going to put 3 linebackers on the field, even if you only got 4 on the roster. You know, it's again, linebacker doesn't become a problem until it becomes a problem, right? So if they want to keep 4, they're perfectly fine. I've seen teams have 4 before. It's been done before. It's not often that it happens, but I've seen it done before. But you got to stay healthy at that position. They can do it because they kept 11 DBs, so they've got the requisite guys to play special teams. Shaka Toney also was kept because he is a core special teamer as well as a defensive lineman, because he looks like a linebacker at 240 pounds. So he looks like a linebacker, runs like a linebacker. So they're like, hey, we can keep Shaka Toney on as well, because he can play like a linebacker and play all the special teams that we need. So they're not hurting. And remember they were trying Shaka Toney out at linebacker early in camp. Remember that. So don't let that go by the wayside as well. He might be a hybrid guy that can play a little bit of outside backer as well as stick his hand in the dirt. That was something that they were intrigued by when they drafted him. So we may be looking at 4, but Shaka Toney may be a 5th linebacker on the low. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So I don't think 3 safeties on the field is going to be more so the case because of what they did at linebacker. If you see 3 safeties on the field a ton, is because they're reacting to what the opposition is putting on the field offensively. And the 3 safety look gives them the best chance to defend that. Not because a team comes out in 21 personnel with a fullback and a running back. They're not going to put 3 safeties on the field because they only got 4 linebackers on the roster. No, that's not what's going to happen. They come out in a base set with 2 wide receivers, a basic pro set with 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 2 backs. We're coming out with 4 down linemen in an even front, 3 backers behind them, and 4 defensive backs. That's not going to change. Where you'll see the change is when we go to our big nickel, when we see teams might have 2 tight ends on the field, or they might have a tight end flexed out, 2 backs on the field, but a tight end flexed out into the slot. That's when you bring your big nickel in, and you see 3 safeties on the field. So I don't think it's going to be altered because of that. But again, we'll see. Got a super chat here from Thomas Carter. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Thomas, who writes, appreciate the hard work. Appreciate you, Thomas. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for keeping us informed. That's what I try to do best, man. And I really do appreciate y'all for kicking it with the kid. Greatly appreciate you. Got another super chat. This is from Jake Willis. What you talking about, Willis? Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Jake Willis, writes, hey, happy to be a member of the Mob Squad. All I can say is the culture is damn good. It feels like it. Feels like it's damn good. It feels good. Yeah. We're going to see how good it is this year, but it's trending in the right direction. I like where this thing is heading, man. And I told you I got more respect for Ron after doing what he did today and some of the roster moves and personnel moves made. I got more respect for Ron than I did the day before. And I love it. I like what he's doing. And the message has been consistent. And that's the part I love the most. There aren't mixed messages here. We're trying to get young, and we're trying to be ready so that when we drop that quarterback in the middle, boop, these boys ready to go. All the young boys are equipped, strapped, and ready to go. Thank you for the super chat, Jake Willis. Greatly appreciate you. Got another new member. This one is from Donald Bonner. Thank you for your membership, Donald Bonner. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Donald, stand up. You officially in the building as a member of the Mob Squad. Donald, thank you for your membership. Mob Squad, you know what to do. Welcome to the MOBB. Donald Bonner. Got another super chat. This is from RJ Enigma. Think you doubled up, so we're going to triple up for Enigma RJ. Again, thank you for being a member of the mob. My guy, Enigma RJ writes, by week 7 Fitz, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I bet $1 on it. I mean, that Fitz has never been that up in his life. If Fitz is that up, he needs to go to Vegas immediately and slap down about a G on the craps table. If he's 17 over 4, 7 weeks into the season, he ain't never looked that good. His numbers ain't never been. That's a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He ain't never been a day over 3-to-1. He probably ain't never. He might not have even sniffed 2.5-to-1 in his career. So if he's 17 over 4, go bet the house on him. Thank you for the super chat, Enigma RJ. Got another super chat here from Exciting Frog 1. Thank you for the super chat, Exciting Frog 1. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, hey, Louie, first time supporting. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you, Exciting Frog 1, for that. Says, love the show. You planning on going to Washington games this year? Probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. Probably not. Look, they make the playoffs. Shit changes. We get to late in the season, big game at the crib, and our final 2 games of the season are on the road in the division. So our last big game at home possibly could be week 15 unless we make it to the postseason. So, you get into that situation, maybe highly unlikely, but I don't want to say I'm not going because I don't want to close the book on that, but the likelihood is probably not. I probably won't go back out until they get a brand new stadium, even if it's in the same exact spot. They build it in the parking lot where FedEx Field currently is. Once they get a new stadium, I want to go. But it's a nightmare where it is right now. Even if it's in the same spot, I would go just to say I've been. But I've been to FedEx. I don't really need to go back. I've been to FedEx multiple times to multiple games. I don't need to go back right now. But, things change. You never know. You get into a playoff game environment, I might be like, yo, I'm going to this game. I'm in this bitch. So we'll see. I don't know. More likely than not, no, I'm not going to any games. But thank you so much for your support and your first super chat. And I look forward to chopping it up with you in the near future, Exciting Frog 1. Thank you so much. Got another new member of the Mob Squad. And it is Corey Slayton. Excuse me. Thank you for the membership, Corey Slayton. Greatly appreciate you, Corey. You know what to do. Stand up. You officially in the building as a bronze member of the Mob Squad. Thank you for your membership, Mob. Mob him. You know what to do. Show the man some love. Welcome aboard, Corey. Thank you for your membership. All right. And Mike Lowry says Ron is live with Martin right now. Good. That's some content I'll be able to digest a little bit later on tonight with a glass of wine. I probably won't. I don't like to drink during the week, so I'll just probably have a nice glass of smoothie or something and watch what these guys out here talking about and see what they said about the roster and look forward to seeing what they have to say about the moves that they made and why they made those moves in particular. I'm dying to see what they had to say about the linebacker position. Obviously, they really sat down and said to themselves, this is unconventional, but it needs to be done. It's not good enough. And I knew Ron was perturbed about the linebacker position after the Ravens game. The linebackers were horrendous in that football game. And I think it was then when he decided, okay, we can't go into the season with all these guys that are dead weight. We got to do something. So we'll see what happens. Condoleezza Perry, my girl Condo P. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Condo P. Greatly appreciate you. Condoleezza Perry writes, good call on keeping RSJ. Needed another veteran tight end. Now I didn't have him on my final roster, but I told you guys I think they're going to keep him. I wasn't going to do it because it didn't make the numbers work for me. But I told you, I said, I think they're going to keep, Ricky Seals-Jones. I really do, because they know they can't cut ties with Sammy Reyes. They know they can't put him on waivers. They won't get him back. And they know that he's not ready to contribute, though. So the only way to kind of solve all of those problems is to keep Sammy Reyes and then keep another tight end so that he doesn't have to be active on game day till he's ready. So, I indirectly called that, but I can't take credit for that because I didn't put it down on but I told you guys what the deal was. I told you how I felt and what I thought they were going to ultimately have to do. But again, the numbers didn't work for me if I'm keeping a fourth back, which I was keeping Peyton Barber because, that was my guy. So I didn't want to get rid of Peyton, but I told you the first guy they were going to come to if they needed a roster spot was going to be Peyton Barber. And you saw that they needed that roster spot to keep a ninth defensive lineman in Shaka Toney. Shaka Toney. And they had to keep a fourth tight end, which I don't think they really intended to do, but they didn't have a choice. You want to keep Sammy Reyes. I already said the tight end position, you have to have three guys. Have to every week. That's not optional. Because if one of your guys goes down, you still have to be able to run two tight end sets. And that guy has to be able to step in, and you have to trust that he's going to be able to do his job and carry out his duties competently. And we can't say that with 100% certainty with Sammy Reyes right now. So it had to be done. But anyway, we'll see what happens. In any event, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I will be on my guy, Protect Sports' show tonight live. It's supposed to be a bunch of us. So check that out and support my guy, Protect Sports, over on his channel. So I'll be doing that tonight. And remember, tomorrow night, we got the big NFC East roundtable. The Fantastic Four, the Fab Four getting back together to do it one more time before the start of the regular season. I'm going to have Law from Law Nation for the Cowboys, Bad Dog from Bad Dog Sports here from the Giants, and, of course, your favorite Eagles fan, Lord Brunson, from his channel here on the Louie T Network talking about the NFC East. It should be a ton of fun. So make sure you put that in your calendars. Tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., we're getting the gang back together to talk NFC East, give out predictions, where we think each team's going to end up, talk about a number of different topics NFC East related, and, of course, who's going to win the division. You know what it is. The champs are here. Will we repeat? We'll see. In any event, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. If you're out there, one final time, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. If you haven't already done so, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and hit the like button. Again, it is free of charge. Only thing it costs is a few flicks of the wrist and maybe 4 pounds, maybe a pound of pressure on your mouse, or just take your finger on your device and boop, hit that little thumbs up button. Doesn't cost a thing. I really do appreciate you guys. Looking forward to chopping it up with you tomorrow. I'm also looking forward to seeing you tonight over on my guy Protect Sports' channel. And until then, you guys take care. Mob Squad, stand up. We in the building, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. Any news breaks regarding this roster, whether we sign someone, we make a trade or anything, I'll be back here invading your space with this face. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one.